Hey guys, it's Chandra here with Indirect Knowledge, and today our reading is for Layla, and Layla wants to know what's going on in her twin flames mindset right now. And I've got his name, but for the sake of privacy and everything, we're just gonna go by his initial, the letter N. So it starts with an N, and I'm just concentrating on him, concentrating on what's going on in his mind. A lot of people have asked me, they say, well, you know, Chandra, like, how did you get started as a psychic, as a medium, as a intuitive person, and that type of thing? And, you know, to be perfectly honest with you, like, when I was a kid, back in the 70s, okay, I'm dating myself now, 70s and 80s and that, you know, things were a lot different then, you know, that we didn't have technology that we do today, we didn't have the internet. People didn't make videos like this. In fact, you know, honestly, we watched like black and white television and stuff as kids growing up, and we didn't have a radio even. I mean, it was just, we lived out in the middle of nowhere. So anyways, my family though, my mother, she was an intuitive, and she was a psychic, and we just come from like a lineage of gypsies and fortune tellers is where the ancestral background comes from. Now I've got a completely different a whole other side of that. I won't get into all of that with you guys, but I will say this much. So it's just kind of like, I remember as a kid there was I won't get too much graphic with it because I believe in positivity. This was sort of like one of the times where my psychic ability really, and I was a child at the time, I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, but I had this premonition about some people not going to make it, so to speak, and it's a whole other story, and I won't get into it, at least not in this video, maybe in a future video if I feel comfortable enough talking about it. And it came true, and it validated to a lot of people that, you know, I had this gift, and then there were like ESP, extrasensory perception schools and different things, and so I scored really high on the tests, and so I had the opportunity to be able to get involved in some of that. Again, I'm not going to be mentioning any names or anything here. You know, this isn't, what I do is not about notoriety or anything like that. It's really about just honestly sharing my gift with the world so that other people can benefit. I kind of think of it as my dharma in a sense, to help as many people as I can with what I can do. So okay, so anyways, getting back on track here, this reading is for Layla. And for those of you that don't know what a twin flame is, it's not a soulmate, but it's actually like where the belief is that one person and another person are actually one soul in two bodies. So it's sort of like half of the soul is in one body, half is in the other body, and so what happens is that the flame comes together, and that's considered like a twin flame. So it's similar to like if you have twins in your family. I had a brother, he's passed away now, and my sister, they were twins, and so they had a lot of commonality, and they could almost read each other's minds. It was really interesting. My whole family has some different quirks, or, you know, uniquenesses, I guess you would say, you know, things that are a little outside of probably the mainstream. So anyway, I can go on and on and on telling you guys stories about that stuff, and maybe I'll make these readings a little bit more entertaining, sharing some really cool stories and things. Goodness knows I probably have enough of them. But anyways, let's see exactly what is going on in, I'm just going to say in, but I'm thinking of his actual name here. What's going on in his mind, and how does it affect Layla? What's going on? Alright, so I just shuffled the cards. We're going to cut the cards now. Okay, just cut the cards. And so for this reading and all, because it is sort of general here, and we want to kind of get a deeper sense of what's going on inside In's mind, we're just going to basically we're gonna do my favorite spread, which is a traditional one that I typically do, and that's my 7 card spread. And we're gonna talk about the past, the present, the future. We're gonna look at, and all of this is gonna kind of revolve around an outcome, but we're gonna look at the answer, or what is really the goal or the key to that outcome. We'll look at the energy that surrounds this question, as far as what's in the mind and everything. We'll look at, we'll also look at sort of the awareness, or the kind of the mindset, or the hope, or the fear, or basically the attitude that surrounds the situation, and then we'll look at the outcome, of course. So the first card is the past, and so the past could be in the near past, it could be in the far past. I can get a sense of that based on the energy, and so let's look and see what that card actually is. Okay, so in the past, this is the Two of Wands. And this is very fitting for this reading because twos are all about connection. They're all about relationships. And the twos here are about action. It's also about creating things. If you notice in this card, the person in this card is holding the world. And there's 2 of them. So that's very fitting. Twin flame it is. So in the past, picking this up for a little while back. Let's continue. Get more insight. Sometimes it takes things a little time to come to me about the situation. Okay, and then so the moment that we're in right now, this is the present moment. Of course, this surrounds a question because it's what's going on in the mindset of Ben. And this is the Devil card. Okay, the Devil. A lot of people get freaked out about this card. You can try to intuit things with this. This is the present situation. And the Devil card is about, what am I picking up? Maybe some addictions. Addictions, or getting oneself stuck into it's almost like the energy is saying something to the effect of getting it's on the tip of my tongue here. We've got like almost like addiction, or it's some kind of a situation that we have control over, but we're choosing this situation. It's a situation we can get out of, but we're choosing this particular situation. It could also be hanging out with friends. It could be like in the wrong social circle, the wrong crowd. But yeah, maybe like some kind of addiction, or it's like some kind of it's something that most of the time in society people would perceive it as like, not a good habit, not a good behavior, something along that line. That's what's going on in the future right now. It's like this would be something like gambling, or it could be something like some kind of stimulant, drugs, or something along that line, or alcohol or something. I'm getting more like drugs. And then also it could be something like I'm not sure if this is what's coming out or not, but I'm just thinking like, just to give you kind of an idea of what the Devil card represents, it could be something to do with lust, or it could be like just choosing to be with, sometimes in this card comes up, it's about prostitution, or it's about just, these people, you have to understand, they're not bound by the devil. Yeah, they got chains on them and everything, but look how loose those chains are. Those chains can come off at any time. So it's like, but it's a choice, to be able to move progressively forward in life. You have to be able to just let go of the addictions, let go of the bad habits, that kind of thing. And that's what's going on right now with this. Let's look at the future. When I pick up that card there with this within right now, that's what I'm getting, is like some kind of like choosing to be in a situation that's not good for you, that's not healthy for you, that's not the most ideal situation, but it may be one that we're lust or pleasure, stimulation, something like that we're choosing. But it's just not something really healthy. It's not like, it doesn't take our life to the next level, if you know what I mean. The next card is the future card. I just got to kind of clear that energy out for just a moment because I'm picking it up really, really heavy right now. But in the future, we're looking at about, I always calibrate to about 3 months out, but I'll know more when I pull the card here. Okay, so this is the moon right here. It's actually what my name means. My name is Chandra. It's a Sanskrit name for moon. If you look at this card, okay, a lot of people don't realize this, but if you look at this card, you've got the sun and the moon up there, basically the moon, the phase of the moon, you know, full moon, quarter moon, so on. But you've got a dog and you've got a wolf. Now the dog represents someone that's tamed. The wolf represents, you know, something that's untamed. So a wolf is like a wild animal, whereas a dog is usually like a tame animal. But look at it. They're both doing the same thing. They're both howling at the moon. The moon almost has a sense of making them crazy or mad, you know. The moon itself, though, is, you got to be a little bit careful with it because it does have that energy about it, that energy of darkness, that energy of that illusory energy, and it's maddening energy, that type of thing. I sometimes think of the moon card like you might cabin fever. If you live in the north where, you know, it's winter most of the year, and so most of the time people are indoors, after you've been indoors for like 9 months, it's pretty solid, and you don't really leave too often, and you live in a small cabin or a small place, at some point you do kind of go mad, you go stir crazy, and so that's kind of like that energy starts, and then the attitudes and the behaviors and that craziness starts to come out of people. Now, the moon itself is very psychic, it's very intuitive, it's mysterious. So I'm seeing about 2 months out right now is about what I'm picking up on this card. So within about a 2-month period and all, there's going to be some things that are not, you don't really get the full picture with the moon like you do with the sun, okay? The sun is like full illumination, right? It illuminates everything. You can see everything with the sun out, right? But at nighttime, the moonlight, you can only see so much. You see a fragment of things, so you don't always see things 100% clearly. And so that's kind of what I'm picking up here with this, is that there's an air of mystery or something that's not really well known. You're not seeing the full picture here in the next couple of months. So it's like almost like we're choosing not to, maybe even a little bit of choosing to let things slide, choosing not to see the big picture, choosing not to see things as they are. Maybe people are giving you sound advice. Maybe people are giving you some kind of an advice or something. That's good advice that most people in their right mind would follow that advice or think, oh, you know, this is good advice. I should listen to this person. But with the moon, you're not really doing that. You're kind of in your own world and your own fantasy, your own play world. And when people try to give you that sound advice, you're just not really listening. You're not hearing it too much, right? You may be listening, but you're not hearing. You're not really getting the true sense of what it is. It's like we want to kind of like kid ourselves, or, you know, kind of keep ourselves kind of in the dark about things. We don't want to always see the ugly truth, so to speak. So the next card is our answer card to what the outcome will be. I'll just show you this. I'm not going to really go into a lot of detail at this moment. I like to kind of wait till more at the end of the reading to go more into detail with this, because this really does go pretty closely with the outcome card and all. So we really need to know the outcome before we can really go dive too deeply into this particular card. This card is the 8 of Pentacles. You see a craftsman, you know, crafting away at the pentacles, and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get a little bit more clarity and insight on this. But the next card is really the energy around, you guessed it, the Devil card here. So let's find out what energy is going on around this card here with in. Okay. You see that card there? It's a swords. This is the Five of Swords, and when you look at this card, you see a person that's holding up two swords. Other swords are down on the ground. Other people that have been in the battle, have been in the fight, they're kind of walking away, and this person kind of has that grimace or that smirk on their face. This card is usually what is fives. It's a Five of Swords, and fives are usually about, in numerology, 5 is really about change. So there's a lot of change going on right now, and it's the dynamic of a person's personality. That's what's going on with this, is this person was one way one day, and now today they're completely changing things around. This card is also, when you think of swords, you think of thoughts. You think of the mindset or the mental. And so what's going on within right now with this Devil card right here is that they're changing. There's a part of them that's thinking things in a different way. So their thoughts are not in the same way that they were previously. When things were like a togetherness, when you could see the togetherness of everything in the same vein. You got the two wands here. Wands are about creation and it's about action and stuff. And right now you don't really have a lot of that. Right now things are really kind of mental. Things are in the head. So this card is also, just so you kind of get more perspective on this, this card also has a lot to do with winning at any cost. So it's about like my way or the highway. I don't care what I have to do. We got to do it my way. And that's the energy that's going on right now within. So you don't really get a lot of choice with this. A lot of narcissists pull this card sometimes. And it's just in that the sense of narcissism is just in the sense of grandiosity. Why wouldn't I be the best person in the world for you? That kind of thing. Very strong personality type, and they know how to get what they want, and they're very influencing and influential, sometimes deceptive even, and but they'll never own up to anything, never own up to their mistakes or anything, or their changes in this case. Now the next card that I'm going to pull is going to be the card that is really the attitude, or it's our hope. And this is what we're really wanting. So with regard to this and with regard to N, Layla, this is kind of your card in a sense. This is what's going to kind of be like what you're looking for as far as the outcome goes. Like, what are you wanting in this, out of this relationship, and what is sort of your vision that you would like to see happen, or what's maybe your fears? What are some of the things that you think might happen? Let's look and see what we got. Okay. Yeah, this makes perfect sense. So this is the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is about charity. It's about giving and it's about taking. One person is giving and then the other two people are taking. But you notice they're both happy. Like, everyone in this picture is happy. The people that are taking are happy and the people that are giving are happy. I really like this card in many ways. And when you get into the Pentacles, and you notice here the person's got the scale in their hand and stuff. It's about weighing things out. Giving a fair sum to those in need, not giving everything away. You can't give all of yourself to this person, but you can give some. And in doing so, this person stays happy. You stay happy because of the service that you do for this person. When we serve others, that's where our true happiness comes from. And when we're in need and other people help us, that creates a connection. And so there's a connection of give and take here. The key to this for you is going to be balancing what you give and what in takes, and vice versa. You don't want to take too much. You don't want to give too much. Or to put it better, you don't want to be the only one giving and him being the only one taking. But if he is taking and he's the taker in the relationship and you are the giver in the relationship, just make sure that you ration out how much you're giving, because should the relationship end or something abruptly come to a stop, you can at least know that you have some reserve in place for yourself. I mean, you've got other options. So keep your other options, keep your keep your options open is what I'm getting from this card, is what it's telling you. give yourself, be genuine, be who you are, but at the same time ration how much you do for this person. You don't want to go too crazy and give too much away, because then that's going to put you in a bad situation, and you don't want to put yourself in a bad situation. You have to honor yourself as well. But this is really good. Not a bad card. Let's look and see what our outcome is for this situation. Okay, so we have the Page of Swords. You can see that. Now, the pages are messengers, so they bring us messages. Swords are, again, about mental or thoughts. So this is telling you, this is giving us, as far as the answer goes to this, is that you need to give some thought to this situation. And you want to play it by ear at this point. You don't want to make any real rash decisions, but the page is about youthful energy. So that's what I'm picking up here. Youthful energy in the sense of yeah, I'm just picking up like in maybe even yourself have a bit of a, it's not so much growing up to do, but it's more like just kind of like it's kind of like it's a youthful type of energy. It's like vitality. This is not a bad card. This is a really good card. You see, the Page of Swords is someone that's willing to go out on a limb and do things. They're willing to take chances. They're young enough that they can afford to risk a little bit. The older you get, the more you realize that life is pretty short here. And so, you got to start kind of reining it in at some point. But the Page of Swords energy is kind of different, because this person you can afford to go a little crazy and have a little fun and have some life experiences that are unforgettable that you can take with you into old age and everything. But do it in a safe way, of course. And then, but with regard to this, let's look and see, because we have swords here. All right, this is our answer card. We also have the Page of Swords here. So this is all about the mind. In one vein, one person is saying, I'm going to win at any cost. I may regret some of my decisions later. Here's the thing. A lot of times when we win at any cost, we end up losing in the long run. I mean, our happiness factor kind of goes, so what I would tell you in this is, like with this situation, to get back really to the heart of the question, like what's going on in his mind, quite a lot, I would say. He's got some youthful thoughts. He's thinking in that way. There's a little smugness that's going on and what have you. But yeah, this is really there's some other things going on behind the scenes. I will tell you that, and that's the outlook of the devil. I don't really see anything negative as far as the relationship goes, like between you guys. I just see that there is some growing up that'll have to happen, some maturing. I also see that the how to put it, it would be very wise in this early stage of things if give me just 1 second, sorry. It would be very wise if we could get to a place with the addiction or what's going on that side of things, kind of the carnal side of life. It's just kind of like anything goes, like just woo-ha, let's have a good time. It's like just this is my life. As people used to say, YOLO, you only live once. That's kind of what you're getting with that devil card and stuff. And so that's really what's going on in his mind. Well, when you have someone that has that kind of thinking and that's what's going on in their mind, you have to kind of be patient with that person, and you have to really understand that the person, especially when we got that swords card where kind of winning at any cost, you got to kind of understand that you're going to have to do the giving. Probably he's taking some, and if you're okay with that, and there really is no wrong or right with this. I mean, it's all about our individual decisions that we make. So you have to kind of take that into account. Again, I always try to give this disclaimer. The future is never like a guarantee. We have the ability to change our future. This is just what I foresee happening should things stay the same and should the decisions go, like if you hadn't done this reading with me today and got kind of a perspective on things, this is the way that things would have just gone naturally, or anything unforeseen happening or something like that. But I see right now, I just see that there's some youthful vitality going on. There's some maybe even addiction problems, or there's some kind of doing things that are not in our best interest, like health-wise or relationship-wise, that kind of thing, and not really caring so much, like just kind of like, it's my life, if you want to be in it, be in it, but otherwise, see ya. So I don't see a lot of total commitment with this. We didn't have any cups come up at all, and cups are all about relationships, feelings, emotions, and stuff. So this is really the mental. It's a lot of it's just kind of where we're at, kind of in the moment. In the future and stuff like that, we do see some mysterious happenstances coming into fruition in that with the moon, and so those are some things to kind of look out for and to see and to be cognizant of. So yeah, that's pretty much the reading. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have any other questions, or as your tarot coach, if you need anything, I'm here for you, and that's the thing I always try to impress upon people. So please feel welcome to reach out to me. Of course, if you want other questions and stuff, you can always get another question or do whatever you like, and be happy to kind of read more into it, more specifically or more generally, even if you want something more general. But other than that, thank you so much. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please, of course, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you like. Hit the bell notification to get, updates and stuff, as we roll out more readings for people. You might learn some different things about the tarot. And of course, if anybody else is out there watching this video and you want to give Layla some advice, or you have some gifts that you've been given and stuff, in terms of intuition, psychic, that type of thing, please, put those in the comments below. And everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.